Hey there everybody, this is Christopher Brower here with Daily Motor, and today we are driving the 2021 Hyundai Santa Fe Limited Hybrid. This is an all-new car for this model year. As you can see, the whole front fascia is new. We've got a lot of silver and, I was going to say chrome, but it's more of a brushed material going on. The only chrome you'll see is the badge there. This car's a pretty basic spec, just silver over black, but I think even in that configuration, it looks pretty nice. With the hybrid, we are getting a 1.6 liter turbocharged engine, mated to a 44 kilowatt battery, producing 226 horsepower, which in something like this feels pretty adequate. We also have quite a bit of rear legroom. Got these really nice black leather seats with this quilted pattern on top here. I think interior wise, this thing looks awesome as well. We've got a 10.5 inch touchscreen there, a 12.3 inch digital cluster. They've done a really good job redesigning this interior to make everything look very nice and classy for something in this price range as well as something in this class. Speaking of price range, this car starts around $30,000 for the base model. This one is spec'd out to about $42,000 if you include destination shipping, all that stuff. So enough of that. Why don't we go ahead and take this thing for a drive and see what it is like on the road. It really does not like when you get out of the car with the key in your pocket. Under first impressions, I really like the Santa Fe. This is the first generation of Santa Fe that I have driven, and I like it quite a bit more than I thought I would. I think that the biggest thing with this car is just value, and all of the features and technology you get for around 40 grand is pretty much unbeatable. The whole hybrid system performs very smoothly and effortlessly. You don't ever really notice when it's switching back and forth between the two, which is always a good thing to find in a hybrid car. The last thing you want is the car jerking you all over the place when it's switching from EV to gas power. We do also have just a traditional 6-speed automatic, which I think is cool to have in a hybrid. A lot of hybrid cars end up with CVTs, which is a major factor in what makes them quite boring to drive, but this one has just a normal automatic, which is pretty cool. It's a nice smooth transmission. It's not overly, impressive, but certainly not bad. The car itself is super quiet. It's super comfortable. The ride is nice. The suspension tuning is spot on for what it should be. Everything ergonomically is pretty nice in this car. Everything just works as it should, and that's about what I'm starting to expect with all of these Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis products. They've really just been doing such a great job lately, and it's really great to see. Let's go ahead and take manual control here, down into 5th gear. I have not found how to have a rev counter, because even when you switch drive modes, it keeps the same layout here. It changes the colors, but you do not gain access to a rev counter, so that is a little bit irritating. I guess it's possible that I just don't know how to do it, but one thing I love, and one thing that you'll see in a lot of Hyundai and Kia, is that when you change lanes, when you put your turn signal on, you get a little camera there in the cluster that shows you what's in your blind spot. Super cool feature that I wish more cars had. Put it back into drive there. I wouldn't really see myself ever using the paddles, especially because I can't see the rev counter, but they're there if you'd like them, which is always a cool feature. We do have Apple CarPlay, as you'd expect to see in any new car. It is wired. We do not have a wireless system, but something really cool that, since you do have to have your phone plugged in, Hyundai have added a little slot that holds your phone in, so you drop it down and it holds it in this little like trap door that opens, which is pretty neat. Also got 2 cup holders up here. We've got obviously our USB input there. There are a lot of buttons right here. In fact, I think I counted there's like 37 buttons right here in the middle. And I always have to watch what I say about this because I always complain when there aren't any buttons because I hate when everything is controlled from the screen. It's very irritating. But I think that there's like a fine line, or like there's a sweet spot, rather, that is like a spot between having all of these busy buttons here and having no buttons at all. So a good example of this was actually the Mercedes GLC that we have on test this week, and in fact it's about the only thing that is better than this Hyundai, which I'll get to in a minute. But it's just a very nice simplistic center display, and everything looks very nice. Now I'm not complaining per se about this because I do like to have the buttons. I like to be able to control my climate from buttons. I don't like when all that stuff is in the screen. I was hoping maybe we'd get a clear entrance ramp today, but it does not look like we are going to have such thing. I suppose I could use this time at the light to talk about why this car is so much better than that GLC, and I guess I'm just using the GLC as an example here. But for $10,000 more, okay, this car's 40 grand, the GLC's 50. The GLC does not have a panoramic moonroof like this car does. Very cool feature. That's satisfying to put back as well. It doesn't have cooled seats, which this car does have. And it's just very interesting to me that, you know, really the only thing you're paying for in that Mercedes is the badge, and the technology in this car is just so much better. We also have lane keep assist, pretty much self-driving in this car, and that GLC does not have that either, so it's very interesting to drive them back to back. Let's go ahead and take this entrance ramp, see how she performs. Oh yeah. 55, 56, 57. Impressive, exiting there at 62. That is a little bit faster than I was able to take it in the Mercedes-Benz GLC. Could also have to do with the fact that the Mercedes is on run flats and this Hyundai is not. We do of course have drive modes. As you'll see, when I switch into sport, it changes our gauge cluster to be red with a carbon fiber background. How sporty is that? Snow mode and smart mode look the exact same, just like your normal Hyundai view there. I've been driving around in Eco because I like the way those gauges look, and it's Eco, I guess. As far as the way this car drives, it is good. Like I said earlier, it's not really anything to write home about, but you wouldn't expect it to be anything crazy, you know? It's, get into a Hyundai Santa Fe SUV, you don't expect it to feel like a race car, so it really is what it is as far as that goes. But the great thing about this car is the incredible value. The value for 40 grand. The 10-inch touchscreen, the 12-inch digital display, cooled seats, heated seats, panoramic sunroof, all of the self-driving features. It's really incredible value for money when you start looking at a lot of these Kia and Hyundai products, and the Santa Fe is no different. It is very impressive as far as things like that go. All right, so pulling out onto this road, I'm going to go ahead and activate what is essentially self-driving, because it'll just steer itself over all of this stuff. Big bump there, no problem. It will yell at me at some point to put my hands back on the steering wheel, and I'll of course have to take control for this big corner up here. Yep, see, it's telling me keep your hands on the steering wheel. Big bump here, let's see how it goes. Oh, feels like we got air. We didn't actually though. So with all that being said, this car would be an excellent car for a road trip. For one, it's super comfortable. Two, you get fantastic gas mileage. And three, it has all of these amazing self-driving features that take a lot of stress off of you. You can sit here and relax. You only have to touch the steering wheel every now and then, or if you're going around an extremely sharp corner. But the car will do the rest for you. Not to mention, it has adaptive cruise control, so you really don't have to concentrate much at all. I always get excited when I'm going on a road trip and we have a Hyundai or a Kia or a Genesis that week, because I'm like, sweet, I don't even really have to drive because the car is just going to drive itself. Super cool stuff with these cars. Make sure you also stay tuned for Charlie's test of the fuel economy as well as the Harman Kardon sound system in this car. I was very pleased when I got in this to see that it did have a Harman Kardon, and I was very impressed by it as well. So stay tuned for the actual test. It'll be a good one. Very eye-opening to these Hyundai Kia products is how much value, how much quality they actually have for a small price. It's extremely impressive. There has not been a single one of these cars lately that I haven't been impressed with. It's been really great to get behind a wheel of a lot of these. They're a really good benchmark for all of the other manufacturers that are producing cars in similar classes. All right, everyone, and that is going to sum up the driving review of the 2021 Hyundai Santa Fe Limited Hybrid. Comment down below what you think of this thing. What do you think of the new design? Are there any other SUVs in this class that you would prefer to this car, or is this one your favorite? Also, don't forget to leave me some comments on what you'd like to name those corners along our test route. I think that would be really cool to get those named officially, so we can benchmark these cars a little bit better around sub-named corner, whatever. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it as always. It's beeping at me. I know I have the key in my pocket. Anyways, this has been Christopher Brower with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.